Good evening. Welcome to the Hawaiʻi Neighborhood Board meeting. My name is Roberta Mayer. I represent Subdistrict 10, and I'm the chair of the board for this term. I'm going to ask the board members that are with us tonight to introduce themselves. We expect some of the others to come very soon. Paula, would you start?
Good evening, Paula Bender from Subdistrict 9.
I'm Greg Knutson, at large.
This is Anson Wu. He is our neighborhood assistant from the Neighborhood Commission. Johanna?
Johanna Ward, Subdistrict 3, Hahaioni Valley.
Paige Alton, Subdistrict 11, Portlock Road, and Mauna Lua Triangle, Kokokai.
We have two board members online. Tiffany, you go ahead first, and then Lisa.
Tiffany Donnelly, member at large.
Lisa Bishop, at large.
Thank you very much. We are a 15-member board. We have 12 of our 15 seats filled, so we do expect more of our board members to be arriving soon. We also have 3 at-large seats available, and we're looking for volunteers from the community who would like to join us on the board. A little later in the meeting, we'll be asking if there's anyone interested in volunteering for a seat on the board. Moving on with our status reports, we're going to hear first from the Honolulu Fire Department. And I thought I saw them earlier, but they must have responded to a call and left. So we'll move on to the Honolulu Police Department.
Excuse me. I gave you their report.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. The fire department did leave a written report, although they had to leave to answer a call. So the statistics provided represent confirmed number of incidents in our neighborhood board geographic area for the previous month. So for fires, there were 0 structure fires, 0 wildland brush fires, 1 fire, 1 cooking fire, and 3 activated alarms with no fire. The fire department responded to 91 medical emergencies, and they performed 3 mountain rescues, 2 at the Coco Head Trail and at the Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail. The fire safety tip is on wildfire prevention and preparedness. Hawaii is entering a period of increased wildfire risk with clear the dry brush and vegetation around your home. Never park on dry grass. Hot exhaust can ignite it. Avoid activities that create sparks or heat during dry, hot, windy weather. Stay aware of weather and fire conditions. And for more information, you can visit fire.honolulu.gov and hawaiiwildfire.org for further information. So that is the written report from the fire department, and we wish them well on their call out on this fire emergency. Yes, Greg.
For the record, can we make sure it says Coco Crater Trail as far as the mountain rescues, so it doesn't get confusing? Thank you.
Thank you for that correction. Yes, it's the Coco Crater Stairs/Trail where the mountain rescues occurred. Okay, we're going to be moving on to our report from the Honolulu Police Department. Lieutenant Mura, welcome. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Lieutenant Mayor from the Honolulu Police Department. Going over the statistics for last month. So motor vehicle thefts at 1, burglaries at 2, Thefts at 7, unauthorized entry into motor vehicle, we're at 2. Total calls for service, 5,614. And just to echo with the fire department, with everything that's going on with weather and just emergencies, if you haven't already done so, there's the HNL Alert, which is the official notification system of the city and county of Honolulu. It's just the city's way to provide alerts regarding things such as severe weather, emergency information, road closures, ocean conditions, water main breaks. It is customizable. You can use via text messages, email alerts, push notifications, all through the app. And again, that's hnlalert.gov for more information. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Are there questions for the Honolulu Police Department? No questions tonight. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Board of Water Supply, generally Iris Oda is here, but I don't see her in the audience. Maybe she'll join us later.
I'm online, actually.
Oh, there you are, Iris. Thank you very much.
Hello there.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Thanks. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I have a quick announcement. One announcement is toilet rebate. So we're reminding residents, Oahu residents, that the rebates for water sense labeled toilets, which are 1.28 gallons per flush, are now available for a $200 per toilet rebate through our water sensible rebate program. So, like I mentioned, it uses 1.28 gallons per flush or less, and that can reduce waste by about 20 to 60% savings, which is equivalent to about 13,000 gallons of water annually. So, the rebate amount cannot exceed the purchase price of the product. So, this rebate amount was doubled with support from the city's Department of Environmental Services. So go to our boardofwatersupply.com/rebates to see the other rebates that are available. That's my one quick announcement. Is there any question?
Any questions for the Board of Water Supply? No questions, Iris. For our members online and in the audience, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. I can see all of the participants on my computer, but Anson does not have it on his computer, and his computer is the one that's projecting to the screen. So he's still working on getting that Wi-Fi up and running.
Can you still hear us? Can you still hear us at least?
No questions, Iris. Thank you.
Okay.
But I could hear you.
Okay.
One
yeah, 'cause you
second
guys-
while I give Anson the Wi-Fi code.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to be moving on to the Kaiser Complex Schools. Principal Gu from Hawaiʻi Elementary School is here to join us.
Aloha board, thanks for having me. Just want to state all of our schools are offering some kind of summer learning hub for our students, and so that we do this as a service to the community. Also, updates mainly from Kaiser High School. And so the first one is girls water polo, OIA champions and third place in the state. Congratulations to the girls water polo team. Next up, we had a beautiful commencement exercise at Kaiser High School on Friday. First time they had a Jumbotron, so they're stepping it up. Pretty cool. Stunning backdrop as always. I wanted to go over some of the statistics, but they had a special group of guests, and that was honoring the first four-year graduating class of 1976, 50th anniversary. One of your board members, Irv, was part of that class, and so it was very special. Strong pride they have, you know, for Kaiser High School, and so it was just so wonderful to host them and have them there. Hopefully that's a tradition. So class of 1977 next year, hopefully will follow suit. Some of the statistics for graduation: 250 total graduates, 52 valedictorians, that's 4.0 or higher, honors recognition certificate, 6 credits in senior year. Those are the criteria for valedictorian. 93 honor graduates, that's 3.5 GPA or higher, honor certificate, 6 courses in the senior year. 28 seal of biliteracy, that means that they're proficient in English and also another language. 26 international baccalaureate career-related program students graduated, and then 95.5% graduation rate, which is one of the top in the state. 79 summa cum laude, that's 3.8 GPA or higher. 35 magna cum laude, that's 3.5 or higher. 55 cum laude, GPA 3.0 or higher. 71 high school diplomas, and 41 CTE, that's career and technical education honors, and that's a sequence of courses and B or higher in those courses, and a performance-based assessment and an end-of-course exam. 92 DOE academic honors who received their certificate, and to qualify for that, you need 4 years of math, 4 years of science, 2 international baccalaureate diploma program courses or AP courses, advanced placement, or running start, which is like, for instance, KCC credit. So if you have 2 credits from either one of those, you can get this honors recognition certificate. 71 graduated with some kind of special 71% of all graduates graduated with some kind of special recognition. All of these statistics are just unheard of. And so I think we're highly decorated. It's going to be hard for any other high school to compete with us. So I would just say, spread the word. We have some great schools in our community. And so if people are thinking about other options, they need to check out Kaiser first. I've just been so impressed by all of their accolades and their students' achievements. It's just wonderful. Thank you.
Questions for Mr. Gu? Go ahead. Yes, I think we should acknowledge. Yes, Greg.
I just wanted to thank you for attending and taking some New Valley Kaiser Complex students to the Sister Summit, both sister state and sister cities, that was just held last week. And they were the youngest component of that gathering that mostly included the governor and the mayors of our 4 counties, and mayors and governors from a number of different provinces and municipalities in Japan. But it was great that they were there. They were giving some very informed comments. In fact, my wife and I just ran into one of them yesterday walking our dog, and he said, "Oh, but yeah, it was organized by the Japan America Society that my wife chairs right now. So it was a great, successful event, and made even better with the presence of Principal Gu and some very bright students. Thank you.
Thanks so much for mentioning that. You know, that's our international baccalaureate, and that's what we're all about. We embrace global education. So we're fortunate to have a booth at that conference. And students from Hawaiʻi, New Valley, and Kaiser were able to present all of their projects.
I just wanted to reiterate that I was at the graduation. It was a lovely ceremony, and the students all did very, very well. It was very inspiring. I'm always so hopeful for the future when we see students like these. And Vera Wang was recognized from the class. I mean, outstanding student, winner of some national awards, science awards, and just amazing. And some of the students are going to very in the next year. So hopefully they'll come back to Hawaii and assist our community.
Vera Wang, just a humble person, doesn't like to boast, very hard to have her share all of her accomplishments, but she placed third place in the International Science and Engineering Fair held in Arizona a couple of weeks ago, and a huge accomplishment. The last time we had somebody that placed that high was Stephanie Spear, Bob Spears' daughter, about 10 years ago. But pretty high accomplishments. She got accepted to MIT, and she'll be attending there in the fall.
Amazing.
Thank
But I shouldn't be amazed. I mean, that's typical of our students here. Yes, Paige.
Thanks for your report, Cappy. Very good news for my alma mater. Quick question for you. You may not have the answer for this. I'm assuming Cocoa Head Elementary is not, but is Hawaiʻi and is Kaiser High School, are they shelters in a hurricane?
That's a good question. I think it depends on the civil defense, and so whatever they deem a shelter. Right now, in the past several, we've had Kaiser and Kalani open, just based on their facilities. But in an emergency, they can declare any school a shelter. As far as tsunami goes, though, we're still in a extreme tsunami zone, so this school probably would not be one. Yep, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. If
Yeah.
you could find out
Yep, I'll find out all of our schools.
hurricane season and yeah, for tsunamis too, but we're supposed to shelter. We're supposed to shelter in place for hurricanes, but I know for tsunamis, people are usually up and gone. So I usually am too. So
Yeah.
I just was curious as to whether Kaiser is a shelter and if it's pet. I think they're pet friendly if you have them in cages or something. I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
if you could find out, that would be great.
That's a great question with hurricane season coming up. So I will find out
Thank
for
you.
all of our school facilities
Thank you
in
so
the
much.
in the area.
Thank
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gu.
Okay, thank you, board. Appreciate you giving us time. Mahalo.
Next on our agenda is Hawaii Department of Transportation. Galen, I see that you're online. Do you have anything to share with the board this time?
Yeah, good evening, Chair Mayor and the rest of the Hawaii County Neighborhood Board. I just want to report some stuff that from last month and the month before. I got an email from Kevin Imanaka from one of the constituent Paula Bender regarding a couple of the traffic signals on Kalaniʻa Highway, and that was reported to the Department of Transportation Services because they manage the signals and have access to the traffic signal controller boxes. So we sent an email, or our office sent an email to the Department of Transportation Service regarding the issue, and I guess the person at the DTS never got back to our staff, but I guess the person named Mike that works for DTS went on and checked and adjusted the signals, and we haven't heard any other complaints since from that. So that was taken care of. For the slope on the Mauka side of by the Halona blowhole, we are working on putting out a bid or contract to address the slopes. And also the for the rock wall by the Halona blowhole parking lot. The parking lot is under the city and county of Honolulu jurisdiction, so they would have to take care of that. And I would think also the extra trash cans that one of the residents was looking to see if they could install. So they would need to work with the city and county of Honolulu Department of Transportation Service on that side. And also our staff will check on the guardrails along the Kalaniʻa Highway from Hanauma Bay Road to Sandy Beach to see what we can do or what are possible remedies or when we might go on and take care of all those guardrails on that side of the highway. And That's it. Any questions or other concerns that, oh yeah, also the traffic jam going into the, Panama Bay, that's always happening in the morning. Yeah, the DTS has to control that, would be the one that, control the cars that goes into the parking early in the morning, and we said it, they're the one that has to manage that, the traffic going in and out of that parking lot for in the early morning juncture. Any other
Okay.
questions or concerns?
Galen, were you able to report the issues along Kalanaʻaʻaole Highway by Cockroach Cove?
Uh,
The guardrails and
yeah, the
the,
guardrails, and those are the things that they're gonna look at. And then on the slope side, by the Maka side of the Halona blowhole, we are working on a project, to take care of that, the slopes, to address the slopes of the rock falls and all that stuff.
okay, great. Thank you
And
so
then
much.
and the guardrails will be checked from Hanama Bay Road to the Sandy Beach area, and they're gonna look at the whole guardrails and see if they're gonna have to program some kind of project, a major project to replace all the guardrails. So I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you so
When they,
much.
yeah, when they
Thanks
review.
for
when they
joining
go
us
out there.
tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
Lisa, you have a question? Lisa, you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, I thought I did. Thank you very much. Galen, I had a question about any trash containers at the over.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
that I think is under the city and county of Honolulu jurisdiction. So they would have to work. You would have to work with them or ask them to see if they could
Okay.
add
I just-
more trash containers.
Okay, at that overview across from Hanama Bay Nature
Yeah.
Preserve, across from the entrance. Okay, I just want to make sure I heard you. So thank you for
Yeah.
checking into that. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lower hand where? Nope.
Lisa, you still have your hand? Another question? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to be moving on to our community announcements. Any announcements from our board members first? No? Come on up.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Wendy White, and I'm here with my partner, Sue Cowan, and we're representing poetry from Ridge. You have an invitation in front of you. We're a new community project that lies at the intersection of conservation and language arts. And the idea is that we're connecting people to place by placing these poetry posts in areas of natural and cultural significance to get people to sort of reflect and feel the importance of the environment around us and hopefully want to do more to care for it. We were planning on having the unveiling poetry post in February at World Wetlands Day because we're being hosted by Livable Mauna Hui. And of course, the rain started and that didn't happen. We are going to be there this Saturday, the 30th at 10 a.m., unveiling our very first post. We hope it is the first of a few posts in the area. They move around every 2 months, and there are new poems every 2 weeks. And so come out Saturday for a half-hour dedication or come by and volunteer at Keawaba Wetland, and you can see it for yourself there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that. Come on up.
What a lovely invitation. Thank you very much. And I see we have Livable Hawaii represented, so that's great. My name's Tom Cooper. I live at the Valley here and represent a local group called Hawaiʻi Advocates for Respectful Development, or HARD. Several of you here and online attended the recent open house, also attended by about 200 other people at the James Building nearby. And we thank you, Roberta, Greg, Herb, Lisa, and other board members who attended, anyone who I've left out. And I know you were with us, Elizabeth, in spirit, and others. We're grateful to Kamehameha Schools Bishop Estate for giving permission to host the open house, and to Fujitsu Ltd., the current lessee of the property. And the Representative Joe Gedeon, who's here, and Mark Hashem, they were our co-sponsors. The Senators Chris Lee, Stanley Chang for their support. Mahia Richardson gave 3 different coverage, very fine news packages for us to the entire island chain. And of course, Chair Tommy Waters and his staff for excellent public speaking. And he presented us, much to our surprise, with a certificate of appreciation, as some of you here are very familiar with his approach to that. However, we're facing a challenge and you can help. As many of you know, HARD has created a survey which asks community members their preference about the future of the James Building and of the preschool within the James, the neighboring 7-Eleven, the Boston Pizza, the Cocoa Head Plaza building, which houses 2 churches, another catering, a pet clinic, yoga studio, and many small businesses. We hope you'll express your desire for the future of these buildings by taking the survey at www.hahaioniadvocates.com. And now here's how you can help. First, many people have said, I'm all for the survey, but have not actually taken it. So the first thing you can do is take the survey. But here's the other problem we have. Please encourage people to take the survey because they think they've already taken it. When you say, can you help HARD or whatever, they've already signed the petition. And so about 2/3 of the people, when I'm out petitioning them about the survey, don't hear the word survey and think they've already done due diligence. Now, here's why that's. Kamehameha Bishop said they want to see the results of the survey. They haven't said that about anything else that we've presented. So it's very important that it be valid, and that means the highest yield possible. Not just the numbers, because we could have 2,000 8-year-olds from New York City, and that wouldn't strengthen the survey at all. But people who are from this community primarily and from Greater Oahu, we will have a record of who has done the survey, what the demographics are. We want it to be honest. We're not trying to pack the house with just our supporters. We want everybody you know to fill it in, to make it more valid and representative and democratic. And then we want to present it to Kamehameha Bishop. There are options on the survey as to what you'd like. For example, resiliency center. Aloha's here, a community center, a satellite city hall, which Tommy suggested, a home for nonprofits, an arts center, a senior home, a museum, a charter school, a cultural center, and many other options. And you can also write in whatever else you wish. For the first time yesterday petitioning, I had a man say he wants a bowling alley. So it could be, but I don't think the odds are for you. One. Please tell your friends, please tell your groups, please tell your neighbors, please tell your networks that the survey is different from the petition. The petition is what we don't want. It makes it very clear we don't want high-rise construction. We don't want destruction of the buildings that are there. This makes it clear what we do want. That's very different to give a positive message. And to have Kamehameha Bishop listening is also very different. So thank you. Thank you to all of you who've supported this. I have the QR code here, but you can just go to the usual address of hahaioniadvocates.com if you want to take it that way. And if you want the QR code, catch me before I leave. So thank you, Roberta, for your constant giving of time to us.
Roberta.
All right, we have questions. Page first.
And Paula?
And Paula.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for the report. I have a question about the survey, and that is, my concern is that opening it up to bowling alleys and, I want it to have this and this and this, and I want it to have a movie theater because we don't have that anymore. Could you, please put in a Trader Joe's? I mean, instead of opening it up as wide, did you consider maybe narrowing the field down to maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or even 1, 2, 3 things, and then sort of a suggestion part if whoever's taking it doesn't want 1, 2, or 3, or if they, where, like, is this your number 1 choice and would this be your number 2 choice? Maybe instead of something like that, as opposed to, we have 400 things that could go there. What do you think?
Yes,
Because
sir.
you're never going to get all of these people to agree on one thing. So maybe instead of, as a suggestion, maybe instead of opening up so wide, maybe narrowing the field a little bit to what is realistic, because a bowling alley is not. Maybe what is realistic and maybe what is sort of on the wish list,
Thank you. We're totally on the same page.
Okay.
There's a list of the things that have been most popular so far that people can circle, and they can circle as many or as few as they want.
Right. That's what I'm saying is that you've opened the door so wide, you're
That's
never
a
going to
write-in.
get it right.
That's a write-in. We don't want to censor anyone's opinion. If someone wants a giant dollhouse, if someone wants whatever they want, it can go in there, but it
Okay,
would be
that-
in the 1% or
Yeah.
less.
That's fine. I think you're just making a lot of work for yourself that way. But instead of like really going to Kamehameha schools and saying, yeah, somebody wants a dollhouse and somebody wants a bowling alley. We know you're not
We
going to
won't
do that, but
That'll get under other less than 1%.
okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Tom, hi. When I went to the open house, I used a QR code. I took the survey you're speaking of before I even left the property. And so I know there were a lot of people there. How many surveys have you gotten back so far?
So I can tell you of the 200 people who were there, and I won't give specific numbers, there's a reason for that. We don't give specific petition numbers either, and there's a reason for that. But fewer than 1/3 of the people who attended took the survey. So I can tell you that. So that's partly on us messaging to make sure they hear the word survey and not petition. And I don't mean subconsciously, I mean that I articulate that. But it's partly on other people, and I won't say why. And many people avoid surveys at all costs. And many people think it would take a long time. It only takes 2 minutes. But I'm not a mind reader. I don't know all the reasons, but I do know it's on me to make sure I get the word out clearly, consistently, persuasively over the whole summer. We're going to be doing this all summer long. And we've gotten thousands of petition signatures that way with the same persistence. We're going to get a large yield. But this is a starting point. There are many other starting points where we say, please, please, please take the survey.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Other community announcements? Come on up.
Aloha, everybody. How's it going? My name is Bobby Silva. Just to start off, it is my wedding anniversary that I'm missing to be here with you guys tonight. But my wife's on the Kailua Neighborhood Board, so I'm pretty sure she understands. It's okay as well. But I am announcing I am running for State Senate for District 25. And I just want to let you guys know, I'm a Kailua-born Native Hawaiian. Grew up, went to school at Midpack. Probably should have broken my neck surfing Sandy Beach. Died surfing China Walls. I'd love to talk to you a little bit about that later in the Port Lock District. But Hawaii Kai is a special place to me. A lot of my aunties and uncles live here. Some of my first friends lived here. And, District 25 encompasses Hawaii Kai, Waimanalo, Kailua, and Lani Kai. So,
Thank you very much.
of course.
Are there other members of the audience that would like to introduce themselves with their name and office that they're running for?
Aloha. Thank you, Reno. Thank you, Chair Mayor, for this opportunity. I just wanted to first off remind everybody that June 6th might you don't know it yet, I'm not doing a good enough job, but my name is Kahi Picaro. I am also running for District 19 for House of Representatives. And I am here first just to talk about not election related stuff. As many of you know, I am the lucky person that's adopted a park at Sandy Beach. For the past 5 years, we have taken what was a discarded dump on the side of gas chambers and turned it into a beautiful park. And this June 6th will be the celebration of 5 years. And I just want to make sure this community knew that everybody's invited to participate. We are going to be removing invasive species. We're going to be nurturing the native plants and just celebrating in the opportunity to be given by the city and county to adopt a park and kind of see the vision for the next 10 to 15 years, which to share here is to create a connection between Sandy Beach and Halona blowhole.
I have a question.
Please.
Did you adopt the park as an individual or as an organization?
We adopted it as a nonprofit organization of which I'm the director for Hawaii.
And the organization is?
Parlay for the Oceans.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And secondarily, I just wanted to mention to Rep. Joe Gideon or whoever ends up being the representative, now this is back in my capacity as a candidate for District 19, that I will work closely with whoever is the representative. And if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it.
Oh, okay, Kahi, you can't be campaigning.
Ah, shucks.
So,
Well,
sorry.
thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
I got it in there and you can trust me.
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else running for office that would like to introduce themselves to the community?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Jason Liang. I'm running for city council. I understand that Tommy Waters is well liked, and there are good reasons for that, but I believe I have a lot to offer people. I have some literature here, and for those online, my last name is Liang, and I will be in the back of the room if you'd like to ask me any questions or have a chat with me. Thank you.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Tara Malia Gregory. I'm also running for City Council, District 4. I do have some community announcements, but I'm going to let some other people talk. Mahalo.
Hello, my name is James Wataru. I go by Jamie. I'm running for State House District 18. I've been a member of the community for the past 52 years, and Hawaii is a very special place to me. And I look forward to meeting all of you at a later date. And I just want you to introduce myself to you guys. I didn't know I was going to be talking. I would have dressed a little better, but I just came straight from work. But thank you guys for the opportunity to introduce myself. Wataru, W-A-T-A-R-U.
Anybody else? Other community announcements?
Cool, and no worry, I'm not running for nothing. You guys can breathe again. You guys can get your breath. No worries. But this is a community kind of concern. As you guys heard on the news recently, that the Parks and Rec went with this new pilot program for the parks, for the permits, for the fields. And as we all know, Hawaii Kai, a big baseball community. Excuse me, starting from 4 years old to having professional players, make it to the big leagues, the Hall of Fame. And this is a concern for us. And as stewards of the parks, we already see the competition, or I wouldn't say competition, outside organizations from outside of Hawaii Kai, from other cities, already getting the bids for the parks. So what does that do for us? For us who are working the 9-to-5 jobs, who have to rush home to get the kids after school and get dinner ready and do all that. Now we have to compete with outside organizations who do not have the same, kuleana to the parks. That's where I spend as you can see, I'm, dressed like Jamie. I came from work, which was coaching the 12U girls softball team, which is something that we're just starting now. We just got done with the spring baseball season. Now we're in the All-Stars part of it. We got 3 more weeks of that, and then we're just concentrating on the girls softball. But the hard part is getting time for our kids to actually have the space to play, have the space to keep them out of trouble, out of the electronics. And we don't want to put it this way. And just so everyone knows, I'm speaking on behalf of myself and as a coach, as a parent of 3 kids who were in the league. You know, it's just living here and having our own space is already difficult. So now you bring organization who followed the process for the new pilot program, nothing against them. But the problem is now we're competing with outside organizations who already have access to fields in their side of the island. And now we have to maybe drive into town.
I have some questions, Elizabeth and then Paige.
Thank you so much. So this area is District Park, and it's troubling to hear what you're saying. I had no knowledge of that. And very, very troubling. And I would ask that we would consider having a larger conversation here at the neighborhood board at some point. Because our district park is our district park and should serve first and foremost the needs of the district. And can you just give us an example when you're saying they coming outside groups? You're saying, for instance, they'll come across the island to use that park. And if that's the case, and so obviously it displaces opportunity. What do you think makes it compelling for them to want to do that? I'm trying to why they, excuse me? Go ahead.
Yeah, so the Hawaii Kai District Park, Pokoe District Park, or Job Corps, if you lived here for a long time, is one of the sought after parks. Like Paige was saying, it's a very clean district park. The bathrooms, you know, I heard someone say, you know, only Hawaii Kai has bathrooms that have hand soap. That's because we bring in our own hand soap, you know, and as parents, you know, we bring in our own toilet paper. That's a
So
hot commodity.
My
We have a
last comment is we had worked at this board about increasing parking opportunity.
Yep.
And that was for the district park to serve the community.
yes.
And now it looks like it's
Yes, as
Okay.
you know, we brought it up before where parking is very scarce.
right.
So now we have outside organizations who has pulled permits according to the pilot program. And now are we competing with outside organizations just to get practice space? But now when it comes to, you know, this is our home, you know, we take care of it. If we see something wrong, we can go up to different groups and be like, hey, police yourselves. You know, this is where our kids grew up. Well, most of our kids grew up from 4 years old and they play all the way up until high school. So it's something that, you know, we take pride in, but if, you know, we're competing with outside organizations that does one or two things, takes the pride and spirit out of it from us. The Kuleana, which still falls on us, you know, might be represented wrong. And also you got outside organizations taking away our practice spots. So now we limit our practice times and our kids don't get enough, you know, time to fine tune their craft.
Thanks, Kaleo. So quick question for you, because I may sound really stupid. I don't reserve the park. So is this pilot program working like if I was going to get a camping space at Bellows? So like you go online and you say, I want to reserve a space at Job Corps for like May 17th and you have to sign up for it? Like, is that the kind of thing it is?
So what I understood, and I was hoping Laura would be here to kind of explain the program, but from what I understood, and this I'm hearing from word of mouth, is every 3 months you have to go in and reapply for the permit. You have to
For the
pay
same space?
for the same space.
And so you go in and you
No.
go in and you apply, let's say you do it in January, and then you have that space for the next 3 months?
From what I understood this past weekend, is that that's how it works. Like you have to
You reserve it.
you reserve it, and it's been brought up at the other field. So
And
Cocoa
this
Head
is-
Elementary,
This is open then to the whole island.
yeah. So and it's always been open to the whole island, but it's from what I understood is more concentrating for that, you know, neighborhood or that city because we're gonna make use of it. We're not just gonna pull a permit and sit on it and just say, look, I have this ticket, and you know, it's like going hunting. I'm not gonna pull a ticket and not go, you know, get
Okay.
my food. So the thing that we're trying to do is just kind of see where's the fairness because we live here. And
Has there been, have issues come up with usage of any of the properties in there, whether it's baseball or the tennis or whatever? Have there been issues in the past with non-East Honoluluers using the property? Have there been issues with that, or has there been conflict? Or
For that one, I can't speak on that because I don't pull the permits. I don't do the, backdoor stuff. I'm just a coach hearing.
why all of a sudden do we know he decided to start this program?
They had a news article come up and we heard about it. And it's not just Hawaii Kai, it's all over. But like you said, Hawaii Kai has one of the best district parks next to Corpse or Patsy Bink Field. And we take care of that park. So it's clean, it's well family oriented. The kids can go over there and my kids can run around and the aunties and uncles know, hey, boy or girl. Usually my boys
Yeah,
the one in
that's
trouble.
Kaleo's kid. Leave him
Yeah.
alone.
No.
Smack-
leave 'em
smack him around. I think that my personal opinion is that this does warrant a much larger conversation with somebody from DPP here to answer some questions, the state parks, to answer some of our questions and to get some clarity on how the program's going to work. Why all of a sudden that they've implemented this? It can't be because of a news article. There's some other thing going on. So,
Yeah, they
that's
mentioned,
what I would like to do.
yeah, they mentioned in the article they're trying to be fair to everyone, around on the island. But we also have, we've been using every park we could get. We use Kalama Valley Neighborhood Park, and as you know, in that park, it's not really, but we put, a couple teams
Yeah.
there, and we kind of have this.
For 4-year-olds, it's great practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we use Kalama Valley, Kamiluiki. We use, of course, the Hawaii Kai fields.
I'd like to see a larger discussion on this.
Thank you, Kaleo, for
Thank
bringing
you,
this
guys.
to our
Thank
attention. Okay. I want to, any other community announcements? Community announcements, not public generated issues. I'm sorry, what?
Just wanted to bring some clarity around what Kaleo was talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Yeah, just because I have an email that I didn't know who else to send it to other than the Department of Education and to Tommy Waters. But if you don't mind having him check the email about this specific situation, I just do have an email from Sean Takamori. He's the Hawaii Kai Baseball League president. And so just to give some clarity or just around a couple of questions. So the Baseball League is a nonprofit serving more than 700 keiki across 66 teams, and it's ages 4 to 16. So if someone goes to reserve a spot, they can potentially reserve all of the ages. And so that's why the practice fields are getting gobbled up so quickly. So the reason why the real world implication outside of just what happened in the news was teams started to go, because usually it's like a pono, like a kuleana lokahi type of thing, where it's like, oh, you guys don't practice today? Okay, we gonna practice another day. But because the point system opened up, there's not really those conversations because now there's a vast amount of teams influxing and you don't have that same communication. It's a 66 team league that receives only 3 points, while club teams get 5 points. So for example, if a club team comes in and one of our local teams goes to bid for a specific location or a field, they're going to be outbid because a club team, for some reason, supersedes a local team. So that's kind of the gist of it. And I'm just an auntie of baseball team players, So
Sorry,
yeah.
I hate to interrupt you. The thing is, Tars, I don't understand anything you're talking about because I don't play baseball. So the
Right.
points, and frankly, I don't care. I care about Hawaii Kai, and I care that all the teams get to use. So I don't care about the point system.
That is the point
But
system.
I understand, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that for me right now, I don't care about that. I just want to know why this was started,
Correct.
why the Department of Parks put this into
Correct.
effect, because it seems to be something new that's come up.
Correct.
And I want to see what the community conversation is. I want to have a larger conversation.
I love
So
that.
explaining
Okay.
the points to me.
All right,
Sure,
so
no
Paige, we'll bring this
Okay.
back
I know,
at
I'm
another
just saying
time.
I
But I
get
don't
it.
think she can answer those questions for you, but. Okay. I do want to acknowledge all of the people who are running for office and thank you for stepping up and wish all of you the very best in the coming election. All right. Are there any public generated issues? I consider the baseball permitting process a public generated issue, and it's something that we will invite city to meet with us and perhaps explain the rationale behind the entire process. Lisa, you have a question? You have a public generated issue?
No, I had a community announcement.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to follow up with my Friends of Hanauma Bay hat on that. We had a very successful cleanup at Hanauma Bay on May 2nd. The Friends were privileged to host Cocoa Head Elementary School for their annual Aloha in Action Day of Service. There were about 90 people that came out, mostly from Cocoa Head Elementary and Friends of Hanauma Bay to support them. And I wanted to thank Cocoa Head Elementary Principal Lindsay Bracken and Cocoa Head Elementary Community Liaison Officer Michelle Shaw, who helped put their end of it together beautifully, as well as Lynette Liu from Hanauma Bay Management. And also I wanted to thank Paige Alton from the board who was helping, and Representative Joe Gideon who came out to support. It was really a great event. The kids loved it, and we had great weather, and Hanauma Bay was, of course, privileged to have a cleanup there by Cocoa Head Elementary. So it was a super day, and we really thank Cocoa Head for coming out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Any other community announcements? All right, come on up.
Aloha, Tara Malia again. It's actually related to the baseball, but something that's exciting is we've gotten over 400 signatures for the potential of Kaiser High School to change the field to Sid Fernandez Field and actually give him a day. I just wanted to read a couple of brief comments about that. I am grateful for Rep. Gideon. He was able to put that as part of his survey as well. But I got to talk to some of the baseball team, and some of them didn't know him and some of them did. And just having representation, local representation, if you don't know who Sid Fernandez is, he's probably arguably the 4th best MLB player ever to pitch in Major League Baseball. And he came right here out of Kaiser High School and right here out of this specific community. So we do have wet signatured it. We have hundreds of comments actually online. But it just, people are saying it raises the morale for the younger generation, that he's a legend, that he's humble. And there are so many different, if you can imagine, these people are just paragraphs after paragraphs. So if you would be able to sign it, it's just a good morale booster, and it's a great representation for the community. So thank you for so much.
I would also recommend that you check with the Department of Education, because I believe there is a process for naming facilities after personages. So you might want to find out what that process is before you get very involved in a petition. Okay, all right. Is there any public generated issue the public would like to bring to our attention? Yes, Elizabeth?
I wanted to bring to the public's attention and also this board, and hopefully have it as an agenda item, that there are 2 funding mechanisms that this community has benefited from. There's one called Legacy Land Funds, and the other one is called Clean Water and Natural Land Funds. The Clean Water and Natural Land Funds and Legacy Land Funds helped us protect Ka'iwi, Mauka, Kiavava Wetland, Havea Heiau, Manalua Fish Pond Heritage Center, and other landscapes in East Honolulu. The problem that we have right now is that it's not being respected, and the integrity of the purpose and intent of those funds are being eroded by crazy conversations by elected officials. And I say that with all due respect, but very, very disappointed. To think that at the Clean Water and Natural Land Fund, the Charter Commission can think that some of that funding should go towards refuge. I don't get it. It's hideous. The purpose and intent was to protect and preserve landscapes, cultural and natural resources, and then empower community to be able to care for them. By tapping into that fund, the way the Charter Commission, and I would tell you guys to go listen to this session that they had and how they spoke about it was just so ignorant. And so I'm asking this board for us to step up, to start having a conversation so our elected officials and the larger community can go back to uphold the integrity of what those funds are all about. At the state level, on average, it was about $10 million that they were working with. Now, this is state, and this is very, very, very competitive. It's down to $5 million. Ridiculous. Landscapes to protect could be $3 million. That's one landscape. It's ridiculous. And so I'm asking the general public, those here and this neighborhood board to seriously look at this and have a conversation, because we have to protect the integrity of the people's choice of where these dollars go to protect in perpetuity cultural and natural landscapes. The other thing that the fund does do now, both of them, is that it does have a small grant mechanism. So lands that have benefited from this type of acquisition, those community organizations can then go and apply for a grant to improve access, safety, and such things. And all of these lands have public, the need and also public access and benefit. These lands are not protected and then just kept quiet. Community engages with them. You know, so my apologies for the tone of my voice, but I just think it's the most hideous thing ever. And this is a kahea. You know, folks, we got to step up. And the key word is integrity. Let's bring that back into the purpose and intent of what we voted for on where these tax dollars go to.
All
So
right.
Chair, would we kindly consider?
Yes.
Thank you.
We will
Thank you,
try to
everybody.
get some speakers here on this issue at a future meeting. Yes, Paige?
I just want to first of all thank Elizabeth because of her advocacy for this community and for this city of Hawaii Kai. We have Keawawa wetlands. We have the Hawaiʻi heiau. We have protected properties. We have Kaiwi. We have so many things because of you. And if you don't recognize that, and if the people who have always recognized that are not around anymore, I'm here to tell you that it is because of her. So this is a real voice of reason that we have for this community. And this is something we need to listen to. And it really annoys me to hear this because this is coming on the back of something else that has been going on where the integrity of the things that politicians, I love you guys, but the things that politicians and the things that people in power are doing is becoming so eroded because it's almost as if, you know, it's really nice to see all you guys here, but it's because it's an election year. Y'all don't come if it's not an election year. Tommy Waters hasn't been here in 2 years, but now it's an election year, so now he's showing up. This is the kind of thing that happens when people who don't see the long-term effects of something like this. This is really, really important. It's not just really, really important to Elizabeth and this board, but this is, you have to go to Keawawa wetlands. You have to see what they're doing at Hawaiʻi heiau. You have to see Kaiwi to appreciate the work that this woman, you haven't done it alone, but has spearheaded through this community for the last 25, 30 years.
Okay.
So
we'll try to get some speakers on
yeah,
these
so I
two
just,
issues.
I just want to
at
say
the
this is
future
worth
meeting.
another conversation and that this is, she
All
wouldn't
right.
be like this if it wasn't important.
Thank you,
So-
Paige. Any other public generated issue? Okay, there are two things that I will follow up on for a future meeting. We're going to be moving on to our presentations for tonight. First on the agenda is a Verizon proposed telecommunication facility at the Hawaii Kai Golf Course. Our presenter is Stephen Sung. He's a site acquisition agent to Verizon. Hello, Stephen.
Steve Sung with Verizon Wireless. Yes, so Verizon is proposing to install a new cell site on the 11th hole in Hawaii Kai Golf Course. Excuse me? Yep. So, yep, going back to it, page 1. We're on third. Yep. So sorry, bear with me. Sorry, everyone. So okay, so it's at the Hawaiʻi Golf Course, page 2. So we're basically putting it on the 11th. This is the 11th hole, excuse me. So our lease area is right there, right in the corner, page 3. And it's going to be a 50-foot stealth tower that looks like a pine tree. So the pine needles will take it up to 55 feet, but basically it's a 55-foot tower. Next page. The purpose of this tower is that's the location of the tower, is to cover the Makapu trail area, and also there's another trail, and shooting it back to the blowhole and Sandy Beach area. So along this area, Kalani Anaole is going to be covering that entire area. Nothing is going to be shooting at the residents. We have coverage there already, so it's more so for the Makapu trail and also shooting back to the Sandy Beach and blowhole. Next page. The lease area, basically, it's encompass. You have some cabinets there. The pole will be on the left side of the compound area. Next page. So as you can see, the antennas are basically 2 sectors. One shooting over east on the Makapu area, and then southwest to the Sandy Beach and the blowhole area. Next page, please. And this is the photo simulation of what the stealth tower is going to look like. We have existing pine trees in that area, the 11th hole. So that would really blend in with the other pine trees. Next page, please. Yes, that's another view of the what the tower is going to look like. And next page, please, the last page. As you can see, there are other, you have your palm trees and you have your other pine trees right there. So people driving along the Kalani Anaole will basically have nice little other trees that will blend it in. That's pretty much my presentation. I can answer any questions you might have.
So this tower is not there right now. You're going to be putting in a tower that looks like a pine tree.
Correct.
Okay. And how tall is it going to be?
So 50 foot is the tower height. With the pine needles, takes it up to 55. It's still shorter than what the existing pine tree that are there now.
Okay. Questions? Yes, Greg?
Yeah, there's been one like that outside of the Cocoa Crater Botanical Gardens. And
Yes.
it wasn't your company, but I mean,
Yes.
it looks great when it's brand new, but it really gets raggy fairly
think
soon. So what is your maintenance plan?
Yeah, I think they're getting ready for that particular tower. I worked on it a little bit, so I think they're getting ready to refurbish it. But for Verizon, if you look at a lot of the Verizon towers, you can see they maintain it very well, and so it's all the colors start shading. They just need to replace it. Anytime when they do a site modification, if they notice, they're like a palm fronds for palm trees or pine needles for pine trees, they'll go back in and they'll basically replace those needles or fronds, whatever
Yeah,
they need to be.
and yours is right there on the highway.
Correct.
Did you look into like the Board water supply, which is
So-
already up 100 feet, that could probably reach both areas too?
So it's different with Department of Water Supply. When you're looking at like a water tank station, the space is very limited, for one thing, to put a tower, and we can't mount antennas on those water tank anymore. Years ago, they've done it, but Department of Water Supply stopped that. So You really have to have enough space to put a tower and the compound for equipment cabinets and whatnot within that water station. And a lot of the water stations just don't have that much space. In this case, and we can go back to the second page. Let's see. If you go back to yeah. So if you go back to the third page, sorry. Fourth. Fifth, sorry. Yep, right there. You need to have enough space to put the ground equipment and also enough space to put, the base of the tower itself. So it's hard to find spaces, for that area. Also, if you go back to, I'm sorry, page 3 or 2, yeah, right there. If you see the map, where we're trying to cover up east, north to the Makapu'u Trail and also shooting back, that location of the 11th hole is the perfect spot for it. If you go anywhere more north, there you can't cover that area in the Makapu'u Trail. So the Makapu'u Trail has been a spot that everyone complains about not getting enough coverage when it gets dark, when it's too early or too dark, or when people get stuck in there, they need coverage to call for help.
Other questions? Stephen, I do have a question.
Sure.
You can come on up. Stephen, there have been concerns about the lack of mobile service, cell service
Okay.
during disasters. And so it seems like most of these phone companies use the electric grid for its power. Isn't it possible for you to have some kind of a solar generator on your pole so that your tower can work during a disaster when the electric grid is down?
So we have, and I'm sorry, if you go back to, I think it was 4th, the compound area, so one below. Yep, right there. We have a generator on that. Oh, sorry, let me go back. That is a generator that we're proposing to add to that site. So in case there's a power outage, the generator will kick in and we can keep that site up and running.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. I think that's great. Yes, Elizabeth?
Is that unique to that site, or does Verizon use that generator ID
In most, a lot of
as
sites,
standard?
I would say, I'm guessing here, 75%, maybe 70%, that existing sites does have, a emergency generator that, powers the site when there is a power outages and whatnot.
I really appreciate your bringing that up because it's a huge concern, and we were going to be looking at having conversations with our elected officials about
Sure.
that, about mandating that cell services have their own backup and not just draw off HECO.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I
So,
think that's like
from
their
a
main
resiliency
goal, is to make sure
standpoint,
their site
yeah.
is up and running when there is a power outage.
I'm glad to hear you're open to it. Thank you.
Oh, so quickly, how many other cell sites like this, if you do you have in Hawaii Kai?
Boy, I
Like-
know there's one, so there's one right next to Mount Monoluen.
Okay.
There is one, so I've 1, 2, and I'm speaking of Verizon. I don't know the
Right,
other
right,
carriers,
yeah.
so I would say, I would say at least 6, 7.
And have you had power issues with those in the past, like in the last windstorm or the last power outage we had? Did you have any power outage issues with those cell sites?
Power outages doesn't happen all the time, but when it does,
Yeah.
a lot of our sites does have, emergency generators that powers it. But I think every carrier, every site that do not have emergency power generators, yes, they have backup batteries that will basically, there is a battery cabinet and they have a backup batteries in there. And the sites that do not have generators and they have these backup, they have these battery cabinets, these batteries runs, I would say about 6-7 hours. They'll give the field technician enough time to get to the site and try to, either they have a generator plug or whatever the case may be, trying to get power up.
So in the last power outages and the last storms that we had, because Hawaii Kai unusual. We
Sure.
get all our power from over on the other side of the ko'olau.
Right,
So
right.
we're unique in our power grid here. Did in the last storm, did Verizon have, with those towers that are up now, did you have power issues?
So I haven't heard any complaints, so I can't answer that. I can find out for you.
I would be curious to
Yeah.
know if you did have any power issues.
Chair, maybe I can send you an email with an answer, if that's okay?
Yeah.
Instead of, coming back.
And the other, you said you have about 6 or so other towers here in Hawaii Kai. Are they going to be as visible as this tower?
So, you have different types of, cell sites. You have on top of buildings, residential buildings, you have cell towers, in this case, in Hawaii Kai Golf Course that we're proposing. So you have different types. The ones that are on the buildings, we are obligated to, paint to match the color of the elevator, the color of the building. As far as cell tower goes, you might have to do a stealth tower, such as a palm tree or a pine tree, or some areas they might, I think there's one past Waimanalo, there's a tower that is built, that they made it paint like the color green.
No,
So
I know that you guys do your best to sort
Yeah.
of meld them with the community, with, the surroundings, so that they're not like, a pole sticking up in the middle of something.
Right.
But this is the 11th hole of the Hawaii Kai Golf Course, a very, very popular golf course. And I'm just curious, have you spoken with the golf course, and what is the feeling out there from the people who use that golf course?
Again, if you look at the photo simulations I showed you, there are existing pine trees and palm trees in that area. So
Okay.
it kind of helped blends in. It's not like just one, pine tree
Right.
sticking up,
Okay.
out of nowhere.
Okay.
You have enough. Yeah. The reason why for the, the choice to do a pine tree is because there are existing pine tree there and help blends
Okay.
in. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Questions from the audience?
Hi, this is Kai Picaro again. And just want to thank you, Stephen, for coming out here. And Verizon's done a good job. You're doing a good job at this. But I got a tough question. I've just become, obviously you guys know I'm an environmentalist. And there's a situation in Lake Tahoe with Verizon. And these pine trees, as you can imagine, every single little green piece is a piece of plastic. And when plastic is exposed to sunlight, it photodegrades and breaks up into smaller and smaller pieces. And these pieces are getting into the waterways and flushing into Lake Tahoe. And now there's a large lawsuit against Verizon regarding the specific design. Do you guys have any idea of how you might be able to mitigate that for our coastal regions? Because this is something that would be relevant to our situation here as well.
First of all, I'm not aware of the lawsuit that's happening in the other state, but I can find out about it. I can get some answers for it. But as far as when you have the pine needles that drops or your palm fronds that drops, usually what happens is the owner of the property will let us know. The field technician that services the site once a month. Usually they have a relationship with the landlord, and they would call that person and we'll go and replace it, pick it up, we move it and try to replace it as soon as possible. But that's pretty much what they do. I don't know what the condition were in the other cell tower, Tahoe, but again, I don't, it depends what the situation was. I really can't answer for that particular situation, but yeah.
Okay, other questions? Come on up.
My name's Cleo, and a couple questions. So in Kalama Valley, there's a cell tower by the water tower. In Kalama Valley, there's a cell tower at the Kalama Valley Shopping Center. And there's another cell tower up there by the Cocoa Head Stables. So that's already 3 in that one area. And then you're gonna add a 4th because it's gonna be within that Kalama Valley, pretty much within maybe a 1 or 2 mile radius. There's gonna be 4 cell towers. Yeah, so within the 96825 area code, there's 99 cell towers, not Verizon's, but within, a combined number between Spectrum and AT&T and everyone, there's 99 cell towers. within this zip code. Just within Kalama Valley alone, I mentioned 4 of them that I know of because I live in that area. So now we're gonna add another one. I noticed that you said there's gonna be an emergency generator on that cell tower. Can you go back to the topography presentation, please? Can I use a pointer? Yeah. So you're saying from this point, that red line is hard to see back there, but this is the line where your cell tower will serve. Yeah, that's the cell tower. But this, nah. So this is the line of where your service will be serving everything along the coast. Yeah. No. Yes or no? Is it going to go from here along this ridge line and it's going to service this dead zone here and nothing in this area? So with your emergency generator, the question was, yes, you're going to have emergency power to power this cell tower, but as an engineer, knowing that your cell tower is going to power this coast, even if you have emergency generator here and we have a natural disaster here, or even a power outage, it does no good for all of us here because all our power lines are on this ridge. So we lose power here, but your tower's serving here. So like what Kahi was saying too, all your pine needles is made of plastic. It's going to fall to the ground on the grass for the golf course, which blends in with the natural grass. So now you're saying your technicians can come out there, nitpick every little piece of grass and plastic and decipher which is which, and then say, you know what, this is what we need to do. But at 4:30, 5 a.m., as the landscapers, the groundsmen are out there cutting, they're not going to see any plastic debris. So we have a big coast that we're trying to protect from all this kind of stuff. And my concern is it's a good thing to have emergency generator there. In case of natural disaster, it's useless to us. For, like how he was saying, if you go to share roads, you see all the microplastics, that's another concern. And I understand what you're saying, your technician goes out there once a month to kind of evaluate the status of the tower, but the landscapers cut the grass every day. So what we won't see is that, microplastics falling into the grass, blowing into the Kaiwi Coast, blowing into our water, which is less than a mile away from where your proposed cell phone tower is. Sorry, bro. Thank you.
I guess fair question, but at the same time, you're saying that these pine needles can, in the other state situation, right? There are pine needles that came down. My experience, with a lot of these cell towers, they don't come down that easy. And they don't come down like, a new tower that comes down like a couple months, they're gonna come, they're gonna come right down. It doesn't work that way. Even in high wind, they're rated. The tower and the equipment that's on the tower, they're absolutely rated. So I don't know how to explain the situation for the other state. I understand your concern, but a lot of these towers are built, they're very sturdy. They don't just come down like out of nowhere. So, and even if it comes down, even if they do come down, and it won't be many pieces come down at once. It'll be like one here and there. The owner, they take ownership of their property. When they see it, they'll call us. They won't, pick it up for us, whatever the case may be. They'll say, hey, come take a look at it now. So, in that sense, we deal with it and, accordingly. And it's, you folks, I understand what you're saying about where we're locating for this particular tower. The need for self-service at that Makapu trail, it's, if you ask people that go to that trail, which is a lot of, tourists, local folks, everybody goes to that trail. I mean, a lot of people visit that trail. You go in the morning, you go at night, or later during the day, there are people that has no coverage. You don't want one accident, something happens where people can't make their phone calls when they're in that area and complain about, well, you guys shouldn't put a cell tower there. We don't, cell phone companies don't spend hundreds of thousands of money just to put a cell tower. It's strategically with the RF network, they want to make sure that they cover all the areas that are needed. You can say, you know, the blowhole, you don't, you know, the cell tower doesn't cover the resident that's on the north. We already have sites, existing sites that cover that area. That's the reason why. So we have sites that are covering that area. The new site that we're proposing, they're willing to spend that kind of money just to cover a small area. And, you know, a 2-sector site typically is 3 to 4 sectors. They're spending the money to do a 2-sector site just to have that coverage there. So, I mean, the need is there. That's why they're putting it there.
Stephen, I guess the one issue that came up was whether or not some of your existing cell towers have a generator backup.
Again, it depends. Some of them don't. Not like I said, 70-75% does. You know, they're 25%.
It just
but
might
we're
be
working
something
on it.
to work on. Yes.
Yeah, but they're working on it. The goal is to have emergency generator on 100% of the sites.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions?
I just have one question. I know that the pine needles are there for aesthetic value, but is it possible to put up the tower without the needles? I mean, is it going to be so ugly looking that people will have a problem with it? Or is it on the 11th hole and not visible to the homes in that area? Because as a golfer, who cares if it's just a tower?
It's aesthetics. You know, people don't want to see a regular cell tower, a monopole, a monopole, which is nothing there, just the tower itself. Nobody likes that. Most of the time, we built those towers in the industrial area. You folks just talked about, you know, being in the coastal area. Nobody wants to see a regular cell tower near the coastal area. They want to have, you know, the pine tree, the stealth pine trees that kind of looks like the pine tree that's there now, kind of help blend it in. Especially, you just talked about being colonial and, you know, you're looking up at one of the nicest beaches in the world. You don't want just a regular tower there.
All right. Well, Stephen, thank you very much for
Thank you.
joining us tonight and sharing all of this information with us. Appreciate it. We're going to be moving on to our second presentation. It's on community climate mandate for East Oahu. Our presenter is Aloha McGuffey. She is the facilitator for the CCMEO Steering Committee and is Executive Vice President of Ulumau, and she's an at-large member of the Waikiki Neighborhood Board Number 3. Welcome back, Aloha.
Mahalo nui. Happy to be back for part 2 of the Climate and Resiliency Mandate for East Oahu. For those of you who were not part of the part 1 discussions on a presentation on April 28th, I'll just do a real quick overview. The mandate was put together as a result or the outcomes of a September 18th to 19 symposium for climate resilience hosted by the Kiska Hui. Kiska stands for Kahala Initiative for Sustainability, Culture, and the Arts. It is sponsored by Kahala Hotel and Resort. And I know that some of you here attending were part of the symposium. Thank you. The mandate is in draft format right now. And like the butterfly, the Kamehameha butterfly that you see on the screen, it started out first as a beautiful silvery looking egg, turned into a caterpillar, and then it thrives. So our goal is to have our East Oahu thrive like the Kamehameha butterfly. Okay, Ants. The East Oahu Initiative is really the essence or brings out the essence of our Aloha Spirit Law. We are leading with actions with Aloha, stewardship with Malama, shared responsibility, Kuleana, and sustaining for future generations Ho'omau, so that all of us here in East Oahu can live, work, and enjoy this beautiful community. It is a grassroots initiative from Kupuna to Keiki. We're listening to all Ohana, schools and businesses, nonprofit organizations, neighborhood boards, and government agencies. This is the makeup of the Kiska Hui today. And we have about 100 and almost 150 members total. Most of them are from East Oahu and some government agencies and other nonprofit groups. So the mandate, as I mentioned, is the findings of the symposium last year. We took 10 roundtable input from 10 roundtables that spanned from Mauka to Makai challenges, and our members at each of the 10 roundtables came up with solutions or ideas to solve some of these issues, passed them back over to us. We then created the mandate, the draft mandate, sent it over to the Hawaii Green Growth folks who are responsible for the state's Aloha Plus Challenge Goals dashboard. And they reviewed it, made their corrections, and then we have a new mandate, a draft mandate today, and Anson has already uploaded to the Neighborhood Commission office for Hawaii Kai, where you found tonight's agenda. The mandate is there, as well as a survey that I'm going to be talking about a little bit later, and this PowerPoint presentation is there as well. So please, if you are online or here in person, go to that site and pick up the mandate and survey and PowerPoint. And we believe that all 6 communities, Kaimuki, Palolo, Wailai Kahala, Kuli'o'o, Kalani'iki, Hawaii Kai, Waimanalo, through their neighborhood boards, we're hoping to rally our residents of East Oahu and come up with some further ideas and strategic action steps that we may be able to implement using your local wisdom and knowledge, and ensure that this mandate becomes a place-based mandate for East Oahu. So we're going to be encouraging all of you to please get involved, and we'd love to know what your passion is. We understand that each community is unique, and even within each community, our residents have unique challenges that that they face and have ideas on how to solve those. So here's just a few ideas on what is included in the draft mandate at this time. And we will be working with many nonprofit organizations and schools and so forth. Some of the organizations that are Kiska Hui members, Livable Mauna Lua Hui, Protect and Preserve Hawaii, Malama Mauna Lua 808 Cleanups, Mauna Lua Fish Pond Heritage Center, and of course, many of your board members here in East Oahu have also joined the Kiska Hui. And so if you're not part of the Kiska Hui, please email me. We'd love to have your mana'o and your thoughts and your participation with us. As I said, we have 150 members so far, and we utilize Basecamp communication platform as an online communication platform. So all you do is give me your email address and I'll add you to Basecamp so that you'll be able to get the latest news that we have to offer, as well as contribute your own ideas and documents that you may want to share with other members. Okay. All right, so one of the main goals for us is to ensure that East Oahu community remains intact. And we can only do that with local help, with local volunteers. All of our Kiska Hui members are volunteers. So you'll be working alongside others who have the same stewardship spirit that you have. So your kukua is really needed to build a climate and resiliency mandate and implement the action steps. Okay. So the survey, I have copies of the hard copies of the survey here. I also distributed them and have already received 5 surveys back from you. Mahalo nui for your contribution. And if you haven't completed it yet, please could do so and pass them along to me. And I'd be happy to discuss any concerns that you may have, or if you need clarification questions. And here's my contact information, my cell phone number, as well as my email address. And again, would love to have you participate with us. The mandate itself is about 28 pages right now in the draft, and it includes some very interesting ideas and solutions that came up during the symposium. Would love to have you review it and respond to me when you can. The goal is actually a 2050 goal. So it's a long-term goal. It's not something that we're going to be doing overnight. But we do have a time frame within the mandate. So when you look through the mandate, take a look at the time frame, as well as, where you think you might fit within the implementation plan. Mahalo nui.
Thank you, Aloha. I have reviewed the draft. I thought it was very nicely done. You were able to pull together a lot of key action steps that I think are going to be very helpful in the future. Are there any questions for our presenter? Elizabeth?
Could you update us a little on the different boards that you have gone to?
Yeah, so I've already gone through 5 neighborhood boards, Waimanalo, Kaimuki, Wailai Kahala, Kuli'o'o. Palolo is coming up soon. We're trying to nail down that first date. And so I've done part 1 with them, and now I'm going back and I'm going to be doing part 2 these neighborhood boards. So Hawaiʻi is the first neighborhood board for me to introduce the second part. And I'd like to have you also consider maybe organizing a committee, maybe a PIG, I'm not sure. If you already have one that deals with the with the East Honolulu Sustainable Communities Plan and the Board of Water Supply East Honolulu plan. If you do have a PIG for that, I'd love to coordinate with that committee.
We have some standing committees, and there is a committee on environment and planning and zoning. And so if you have something to share with that committee, I'll put you in touch with the chair.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Looking forward to it. Mahalo nui.
All right, thank you very much, Aloha. We're going to be moving on to next on our agenda. I'm reminding everybody that we do have 3 vacancies on our board. Is there anybody in the audience who is here tonight to be asked to be considered for a seat? All right, if tonight, perhaps a future meeting. All right, we're going to be moving on to our officials' reports, starting with Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Amy Asselby. Welcome, Amy.
Aloha, everyone. Love hearing about all the people dedicated to the community and pitching in to try to do good things to take care of this place and our neighbors. I know that's why I work for the city. So thank you for having me to speak tonight. My name is Amy Asselby, and I work in the Office of Economic Revitalization. I guess in the general announcements, and I will make sure to log in and drop the mayor's newsletter in the chat online also. But there's a number of exciting developments that they wanted to highlight in the mayor's newsletter. And I am pretty sure that all the board members already received that directly. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Very good. So I have 3 issues to report back on, and I'll save the most exciting one for last. But the first issue was with regard to Kaluanui Road and tree roots maintenance. And so there was a question about the lower portion of the road that has been worn down and has some tree roots. And they asked if DPR could take a look at that. So on May 7th, a Department of Parks and Recreation Division of Urban Forestry arborist inspected the concern of the tree roots damaging the curb, gutters, and the walkway on the lower portion of Kaluanui Road. No roots were visible at the area of concern, and the arborist could not substantiate that the damages were a direct result of roots from a city tree. So the Division of Urban Forestry will collaborate with the Department of Facilities Maintenance to perform any necessary tree work to assist with repairs. So that's the latest on that one. I don't remember which board member asked that question. Relatedly, there was a question about tree maintenance at the Hawaii Kai Park and Ride across from the Hawaii Kai Town Center, at the harbor next to the and at the Great Lawn at 6520 Kalanianaole Highway and at the Hawaii Kai Postal Service. Can we check if these trees are under city jurisdiction and identify who would be responsible if they are not under the city's care? So again, the Department of Parks and Recreation, Division of Urban Forestry had an arborist inspect the concern of trees that required maintenance in various locations in Hawaii Kai. So the Hawaii Kai Park and Ride is a city facility. The Division of Urban Forestry arborist determined that although these city trees at this location do not appear to pose an immediate public safety concern, a few trees do require maintenance and 2 dead trees require removal. So the Division of Urban Forestry anticipates tree work to be completed by the end of June 2026. If the city's goal to plant it is the city's goal to plant trees where possible. So the Division of Urban Forestry will continue to inspect the proposed site and if deemed suitable, will plant a tree of an appropriate species. The overgrowth from behind the fence line at this location is coming from private property, and the maintenance of trees on the private property is the responsibility of the property owners. All the other properties mentioned, the harbor next to the Park and Ride is private property. The Great Lawn at 6520 Kalanianaole is private property, and the Hawaii Kai Postal Service is on federal land, and the maintenance is thus the responsibility of the feds. So I hope that is helpful with regard to tree-related issues. The big issue of the day has been around Cocoa Crater Stables and an update there. And so I don't have information that's going to necessarily please the board members at this time of a letter that was sent to the concessionaire. And I'm kind of the deliverer of the latest news, which is that the Office of the Managing Director was informed that the concessionaire has met with and/or is possibly retaining counsel. And as such, it would be inappropriate to comment on further details pending confirmation of the representation of counsel. So I think we can all agree the stables are a tremendous asset to the city. We want to have a good resolution and have that resolution shared with the board and that they're a part of it. But I don't think I can share anything further as to proceedings with the current concessionaire today. And I would welcome questions and concerns that I can take back to get further clarification for next month's meeting and continue to communicate with the chair.
Okay, questions? Yes, Greg?
Yeah, I may have missed it, get hundreds of emails a day, so I haven't seen that letter. The mayor even came up to me a few days ago and started talking to me, and I was supposed to get a call from Dita Hollifield, but none of that happened. None of it. I really don't know, other than it appears as if the city is walking back its contract. But can you, for the benefit of our record, And for the audience and anyone viewing this, tell us what at least is in the letter that perhaps I received but haven't seen yet.
I would like to clarify that I have not seen the letter. I'm not a party to
Let me make some clarifications here, because not all of the board members are aware. It was not, I did not share this information widely. And so it's my understanding that sometime last week, the concessionaire received a letter from the city indicating that she needs to vacate the property by the end of June 30. And so when we heard about this, I certainly sent some emails to the city and reached out to various people to indicate my displeasure that action was being taken without informing the neighborhood board or letting us know what was occurring and what the justification was for this action. And since that time, I had been in contact with some city officials, and I felt very positive that we were going to try to move towards some kind of a resolution that we might have been able to keep the horses at the facility while improvements were being made. Nothing was in writing or firm, but I thought that we could come to some kind of temporary resolution. However, I also received word today, late this afternoon, that a meeting that was supposed to have been held today with the concessionaire had been canceled because the city was informed that the concessionaire act with a lawyer and was possibly seeking to retain the lawyer. I understand perhaps she has not retained the lawyer, but she has consulted the lawyer. But at this point, we can't really get too involved because it might become a legal issue. However, I did ask the board to consider a letter from the board. Before all of this happened, I had asked the board to consider sending a letter to the city, asking the city, to more speedily address the issues that were occurring at the stables so that this facility could again be made available to the public and the community. We can certainly still visit the need for that letter, or if we could decide at this point that it might not be necessary because we need to let issues run its course. So we can discuss that when it comes up on the agenda a little later.
Okay, but
Does this give you a little bit of information?
it's a little bit, but I mean, I don't see the need for secrecy when it is an official government action. And the mayor actually told me that the contract had been canceled and was surprised that I didn't know more of the detail. But I was expecting a call in the next day or two and it didn't come to give me some background. And I was trying to tell him to contact others like Herb, who has always tracked this very closely. But, so it's all falling into just kind of not sharing information. But if it is the result of a government action, then we should at least know what that action is. And if it's disputed and falls into a legal area, then okay, I can understand that. But we should know what the official condition is,
Right.
situation is.
Well,
as-
I had hoped to be able to share more information tonight based on a meeting today of the people involved, but evidently I'm not able to share anything, so. We have someone just with the initial K. You have something to share?
Hi, Roberta. It's Kim Hollinsworth with Aloha Writing Lessons, the concessionaire. I just think that I could clear up a couple of things. One, I have only consulted the attorney, that we are very hopeful that we can come to some kind of resolution to move forward, as we have been waiting at the stables for over 4.5 years for the city to do what they promised, which was tear down the condemned building as a start. And the last we had heard was Mike Formby and Krishna Jairam had come out and we had sat down and discussed moving forward. They had sent people on site to look at what the issue was with the condemned building and where to put, I guess they found lead paint and asbestos, so that needed to be handled. And so I thought we were moving forward. I thought it was just slow due to the floods, as well as the Lahaina fire and the many numerous things that came up that were way more important, which I understand. So I've just been patiently doing what the mayor asked me to do, which was just tread water, hold my own until we got there. The mayor had no idea what was going on. On Friday, or excuse me, Wednesday afternoon, I got an email that basically told me I had 5 weeks to get out, that my contract was being canceled per the convenience of the city. So that is where we stand. We are very hopeful that we can move forward with the city and DES and DETA and come to a resolution. The meeting today that we decided not to attend was based on the letter that I had received. And I believe that that was for moving out and how we were going to proceed to move out. I am hopeful that we can come to another meeting where we're going to sit at the table to move forward in a positive manner so Aloha Writing Lessons can open this community asset for the public and get it taken care of so that it is safe, as nothing really has been maintained or done in many, many, many years. So that's kind of where we are. I have not retained an attorney whatsoever. So just so everybody knows.
Okay, Kim, then I would
Yes.
suggest as a next step that you contact the Department of Enterprise Services to schedule a meeting so that the meeting that was supposed to have been held today could be rescheduled and perhaps something could be worked out. Could you do that?
Yes, I will do that. And hopefully it's not a vacate 5-week notice and that it is a let's all move forward and come to the table and work together.
Okay. Any other comments or questions for the mayor's representative on this issue? Oh. On any other issue? Okay, Elizabeth?
Earlier, I spoke about at the county level, the Clean Water and Natural Land Fund. I'd like, if there's an opportunity to meet with managing director and or mayor to discuss the integrity of the fund and gaining their support to balance out what the commission, not the Clean Water Commission, but the Charter Commission is considering. I certainly think if the mayor believes in the fund, a letter from him would be priceless to say hands off, leave it alone. That's my goal. But I'd like to know if there's an opportunity to speak with deputy director or managing director or mayor about this issue. It's very serious. Thank you.
I can
Of
be
course.
in touch with you directly.
I understand. Thank you.
Sure, happy to do.
Amy, have you completed your report or just?
I have completed my report. I'm just here to field any questions or
Okay.
new issues that I can take back
One more question.
for
Yes.
information.
Can you remind us when is Mike Formsby leaving?
The end of this week.
So we're dealing with new folks.
I
Not
have been in-
exactly. Our
I've been
deputy
in-
managing director is becoming the managing director.
On this particular issue of Cocoa Crater Stables, Mike has indicated that he will bring his successors up to date on what's been occurring. So,
Yeah, and I know a lot has transpired between the email that you sent me and, requests for information and further discussions, et cetera, along with the concessionaire, Kim Hollinsworth. And so I'm sorry that I was able to provide kind of not robust information to your satisfaction. And I hope we'll have some better information next month after some ongoing proceedings. So I appreciate your patience.
thank you, Amy. I do have one other issue I would like
Yes.
to bring up. As was shared under public generated issues, the issue of the permitting process for the use of the ball fields at Cocoa Head District Park. I'm not familiar with the new process. Is it possible to have someone from Department of Parks and Recreation present at a future meeting to explain the new process and the rationale and how we might better ensure that our neighborhood has equal access, I guess, to the use of the parks?
To their nearby parks. Yes.
Yeah.
I will ask the question and see what kind of information we can get. I did see, because of the articles in the paper, some information that had already been shared within city and other directors and deputies on that new process. So I should be able to get back with you with what is happening. And I think the question was also from page why the changes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, Lisa has a question. Go ahead, Lisa. You need to unmute.
Okay. Amy, thank you very much for your report tonight. I wanted to ask if you could pass on to the folks at Urban Forestry that they've done some really great work landscaping and in tree maintenance at Hanauma Bay. And it really has shown up quite a bit. So the work is really great and has made some marked improvements, especially in the visitor access areas. So please thank them and tell them that we look forward to having a new tree planted in front of the cashier's window. But the work they've done is really noticeable. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Amy. Next on our agenda, is there a representative from the City Council Chair's office? Not tonight. Governor Josh Green's representative, Cameron Black. Welcome, Cameron.
Thank you, Chair, board members, members of the community. Thank you for having me tonight. Cameron Black, representing Governor Green's office tonight. My apologies, I wasn't here at the last meeting. Another community meeting on the windward side talking energy, which I know is a very important topic to this community as well. So I've been tracking those conversations closely. I did read the minutes from the last meeting, looking for state issues in particular that I could try and help with tonight. One being the sirens, which has been a recurring issue over here, questioning the operability of the sirens. I would note that Hawaiʻi does have a website, which I know a lot of you are familiar with, that does give the status of all of the sirens throughout the state that you can go to check on. And this was a community raised issue at the last meeting. Another topic that came up was the variation in siren tones. And this is something that this board asked about in a previous meeting a while ago. And there is one tone. That's the answer we got from Hawaiʻi. One tone for all of the hazards. And it's the same tone that we hear during the monthly testing session. So if that's different, I will come back and get a clarification. But per Hawaiʻi, the last time that question was asked by this board, the answer was there was one tone for our emergency siren system for all hazards. So again, if that's changed, I will let you folks know. But it's the same tone that sounds like when they do the monthly testing. Another issue that came up that was state related, that wasn't DOT or DOE related, that Galen or Principal Gu can handle, was damages from the floods. And I would like to highlight Governor Green's newsletter. And Chair, if it's okay, like Amy said, I would like to give you a link to this newsletter for you if you wanted to provide it in the minutes, which does point to some resources for residents, businesses, farmers to recover damages from the last weather incidents we've had. So again, some resources pointed out in the governor's newsletter about things, programs and resources available from folks recovering from those devastating weather events that we had recently. Jumping back to the siren page, thank you so much for bird dogging this issue for so many months. So far, the Cocoa Head siren has been working pretty well the last couple months. We'll be out there again on next Monday on June 1st to hopefully hear it loud and clear again. But we'll continue to make sure that that siren is operating at its full capacity. Yes, thank you, Paige. I saw you raise your hand. I didn't see anything also about CRB in the last minutes. So if that's again something that's popped up in this community, Camilo Nui Valley, please let me know if we can help.
I'd say 4 coconut trees, 5 coconut trees in Kamilanui Valley have CRB.
Okay. Should I pass that along to the response team and or Department of Ag
I
again?
think coming from you would be,
Okay.
and the one person with the mulch hasn't done much of anything.
Okay.
But the trees that need to be cut down now, because you can't keep them up because they become a primary food source for the coconut rhinoceros beetle. So I'd say Kamilanui Valley has coconut rhinoceros beetle. And it's only in, one would hope that it doesn't come to Havea or also where there's an ancient coconut grove, as well as Fish Pond Heritage Center, 2 really important locations that have important coconut trees for cultural and historic reasons.
Okay. I will follow up with the Department of Ag and Biosecurity as well as the CRB response team, both of them. So thank you for raising that. Yeah. The last issue, which I know is a topic of concern and interest of this community, is the proposed DHHL Mauna Lua development near across the post office in that triangle vacant lot. I did reach out to DHHL, and as of today, they had no update to provide on the status of their due diligence of that site. So I will continue to follow up with them, and if there is something new they can provide, I'll let you folks know. If you want more, which I know you've requested them to be here, please let me know. Otherwise, unless we have more questions, that's the end of my report.
Any other questions for the governor's rep? Yes.
Yes. What's the status of where the governor is with vetoing bills? Are we still in that zone or is it over?
Let me get back to you. I don't want to give you a misinformation, and I don't even know where the status is. I think there's a window, but I want to confirm that.
Because I was going to ask or bring to his attention legacy land funds, how it's gone from 10 million to 5 million.
Do you happen to have the bill number
I was
handy?
trying to look for it. May I send it to you?
If not, yeah, we can get it and I'll put it in the report and
Thank you
see
so
if I
much.
can get a status of that, and I'll let you know. I know this is timely.
I mean, if you vetoed it, how fabulous would that be? Yay.
Okay, let me try and get you an answer this week, if not before, like, tomorrow.
You're the
Yeah.
best. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Cameron, for joining us tonight and sharing all of that information.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Do we have a representative from Stanley Chang's office? Senator Stanley Chang's office? No rep? Anybody from Senator Chris Lee's office? Representative Joe Gideon, thank you for joining us tonight.
Aloha, members of the neighborhood board, everybody here in attendance, thanks for sticking around. Can I hand these and you guys can just kind of hand them down? Okay. It has been a busy week with all the graduations. Had the opportunity to attend the Kaiser graduation this morning. We had the 5th grade graduation at Haheone, and tomorrow we've got Kamilawiki, Cocoa Head, and back here again at Haheone for an awards ceremony. The James open house had a great turnout. I was very impressed by the way the building's been upkept. I agree with Paige on the ideas for the survey. Maybe we can get it a little more guided, but I'll be working with the Hawaiian Advocates for Respectful Development to craft a survey that we can do for my office as well, and we can share that information with the neighborhood board and the city, as well as Kamehameha Schools. Turning to the newsletter, this is my end of session survey results, as well as sharing some of the notable bills that have passed. I'll just touch on a couple of the survey results that were really stood out. First question, are you concerned that continued development in Hawaii Kai may worsen traffic, strain infrastructure, keep emergency situations? We had 80% of the people that took our survey say yes. Second one was similar, had to do with the reliability of utilities in Hawaii Kai, especially after the Konaloa storms. We saw, there's definitely an issue based on a scale of 1 being dissatisfied to 5 being satisfied. I think there was only like 2% of the people that said they were satisfied. With that note, on the topic of utilities, as we've been doing our talk stories, we've been able to have a lot of guests come in, subject matter experts. For June, we have Hawaiian Electric coming in to speak with us. Yep. They did a great job when they came last July. They were able to explain and educate the situation with the grid in Hawaii Kai. But with increased rates coming down the pipeline, I think there's going to be a lot of questions. So I'm glad that they agreed to join us. Oh, let me get back to my notes here. This past week, I had the opportunity to meet with Director Ed Sniffen from the Department of Transportation to take different community concerns that I've been getting over the past few months. Galen, if you're still on, thank you for addressing a couple of them were the slopes by the blowhole, the guardrails, falling rocks in that area, as well as the trash cans at the lookout before Hanama Bay. One concern that I get a lot of people reaching out on is the repaving of the road from Makapu in towards Sandy Beach and then the scenic route on Kalanianaole. Update on that. Right now, they're scheduling Waimanalo to Makapu, and then after that, they're going to be doing into Hawaii Kai and along the scenic route. They're hoping to start by the end of the year, but I'm not going to give any specific dates until they announce. They'll announce it sometime in the next couple of months, and then my office will help distribute that information. But they're going to be doing a full repaving, not just spot touch. They're going to do a full repave. Other concerns that we took to our meeting, the left turn into and out of Coca Marina, which is an ongoing issue with, I don't want to say no end in sight, but it definitely still needs some work. Director Steffen's opinion was just close the left turn coming out. Maybe that's the answer. Other concerns, the right turn onto Kalanianaole from Keahole. There's a dedicated lane. A lot of people still stop and are looking, waiting for the road to be clear, not realizing they have an open lane there. I brought up the possibility of maybe better signage. The topic of possible delineators had been brought up. They're going to look into it. Their stance is their number one concern is safety. If people are stopping before they go, that is safe. But I think maybe at least some better signage could be a possible solution with that. So we're going to continue working with him on that. Some other issues that we brought up, which actually fall under DTS, redoing the lines along Hawaii Kai Drive from the James School all the way to Kalanianaole. There's some areas where the double yellow line has faded. I mean, when you are coming to the end of Hawaii Kai Drive to Kalanianaole, the double yellow line is all but gone. So we're working with DTS on that. They've already responded. They're going to send somebody out, survey the area, and get a work order posted once their staff returns from their field inspection. Speeding along Lunila Home Road is another issue. Been getting a lot of calls on. So working with DTS as well on that. For our August talk story on the topic of DOT and DTS, Department of Transportation has given us a verbal agreement or a verbal confirmation that they'll do a talk story with us in August. I'm looking to get the Department of or DTS to join as well, so we can address some of the concerns and they can hear from the people in our community. Finally, another update, Maunalua Bay. Last week, I also met with Bruce Schwartz from Dobor, Rep Hashem and Brent Chang to address some of the debris that had collected along Keiki Beach after the Kona low storm. Dobor did do a little bit of a cleanup, but there's still a lot of sticks and branches and stuff that had gotten buried by the sand. People are stepping on them, poking their feet. There was a lot of question into whose jurisdiction that falls under. In the meantime, our constituents are having to deal with debris and sticks on the beach. So I'll be working to get a volunteer group together. Since there's no movement on the plant pallet, I'm going to try and work with that same group to see if we can organize a beach cleanup. Get out there with some rakes. Maybe Dobor can get some supplies for us, and we'll do it ourselves. It's our bay. We'll take care of it. At the same time, hold them responsible for doing their job. But we don't want to wait on them. Those are the main, aside from the survey results, if you look on the inside right of the end of session survey or end of session wrap up, there are some notable bills. I mean, there are a lot of bills that passed. Some of the biggest ones were the changes to the income tax. Here we go. The movie industry was able to get the increased tax credit from $50 million to $60 million to help boost the industry out here. Already we've been hearing of different productions looking closer at Hawaii. Some other changes that are on the governor's desk, if he hasn't signed them already, new age limit for riding in pickup trucks will be raised from 12 years old to 16 years old to ride in the bed of a pickup truck. Also, e-bikes. Finally, there's going to be more safety rules and when operating e-bikes on the roads. Can't pop wheelies. Riders must be 18 years and older, wear a helmet on public property, and sidewalk riding is allowed only at speeds under 10 miles per hour. Finally, another bill which I think is going to help our economy, faster county permit approvals. There's a pilot program that's, once the governor signs this, they create a pilot program to help counties speed up building permit approvals by hiring more staff, increasing salaries for key positions, and rewarding strong job performance. The goal is to reduce delays for housing and development projects. Those are my main updates. Are there any questions that I can answer? Yes.
Thank you very much, Joe. Questions for the representatives? Elizabeth?
A couple, if I may. Relating to Maunalua Bay.
Yep.
Do you know if the rubbish bins on the state side were moved? They had them chained right by the ocean, by the
docks.
by the water. Yeah, and it was they did it once before. We requested they move it. Gets filled up pretty quick and blows into the ocean.
Oh.
So I wanted.
They used to have a dumpster there, but people were using it for.
Right, but then they moved the rubbish bins. So I just wanted to ask about that. I mean, we could always take it up here and send a letter.
Drive by right after this. I'll check it out.
But okay, so that was one. Thank you. And if you do the beach or the Maunalua Bay cleanup, maybe tap Huinalu.
Huinalu.
Yeah.
The Lions Club.
Yep.
Malama Maunalua and one of the church groups had shown interest in the
Awesome.
plant pallet one.
Great. Okay.
So we're going to reach out to the same group.
Okay. And so the other is, this one is for Kaiwi. And I'll bring it up before the meeting ends, we had sent a letter to Don Chang about not wanting a name change for the Kaiwi Scenic Shoreline, which is the type of a state park. And it's all of a sudden gone real silent and quiet. And my biggest concern is that it goes before the land board and it happens. And it's renamed Kaiwi State Park, which is vastly different from a Kaiwi Scenic Shoreline type of park, right? So I'd like to have a conversation with you about that because there's a role that state DOT can play.
Oh,
So, and I think you're the man to help us with it. So
yeah.
I'm just
I'd be
reminding everybody, we haven't heard anything about the land board looking at a name change, but it's supposed to happen. And I just don't want one of these things to happen and then we're stuck.
I'd be happy to connect with you with that and as well as the funds, the issue with the funds you mentioned.
Yeah,
earlier.
and I forgot, Cameron, to mention that to you, that we need to be hawkish on that and find out when it goes before the land board. We've taken a position on it before. So thank you.
Long ago, a couple years ago, we
Yeah.
sent a letter to the Department of, to Don Chang from DLNR and indicating that we didn't think it necessary to change the name to Kaiwi State Park. And everybody is familiar with the area as the Kaiwi Scenic Shoreline and the byway. So it could still have the protection of a state park without having to go through all of the change and signage.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
we haven't heard back and
How
we
long
don't
ago
know
was it?
whether or not that came up for a vote.
Are we talking months or years?
2 years, I think.
Okay.
When's the talk story in June?
It is June 25th. It's the last Thursday of the month. So our talk stories are always the last Thursday of the month. So June 25th at the Oahu Club, 6 p.m. And
Quite-
that was Hiko.
Okay, we have a question from Paige and then also from Greg.
Perfect.
Hi, Representative. Thank you so much for your report. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can. Okay. So 2 things. I have a lot of concerns about these e-bikes. They, up until now, I have not seen any enforcement on anything. And I find it interesting that there's an issue where there's no enforcement now, but we're making bigger and better and more stricter laws for e-bikes when there's nothing being done now. I see e-bikes on the freeway. Literally, I see e-bikes like at the freeway entrance in Kahala, and then they get off at Waialae. I've actually seen one go all the way to Kapiolani. An e-bike on the freeway. It's insane, but nobody's doing anything about it. They do wheelies everywhere, everywhere. And I don't know how you're going to monitor whether somebody is on an e-bike and they're going less than 10 miles an hour on a sidewalk. Because unless they have speedometers, they're not paying attention to that, and they're not anyway. So that kind of thing, I'm afraid a catastrophe is going to happen, and somebody is going to have to actually get really seriously injured before somebody actually does something. They are an accident waiting to happen, and
I 100%
think
agree with you. Yeah.
I
mean,
think that
almost
making
every day. Almost
every day.
see
Yeah.
kids riding down
I see
the
them
road by
every
my
day,
house.
and they're
hopping
not
wheelies.
16. I can tell you that right now. They're not 16. I've seen young kids doing this. But anyway, so I mean, I just find stuff
That's a great
like
question.
that to be-
I'll bring that up to my contact with HPD and ask them about the enforcement and how they're planning on enforcing the new law.
Yeah, if I ever see an e-bike pulled over and being given a ticket, I probably would stop the car and get out and start clapping. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. The other thing is I wanted to say thank you to you and Cameron, because I don't think last month got to say thank you to you about getting our sirens fixed in Subdistrict 11. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I literally have had neighbors texting me going, the siren's going off. I can hear the siren going off, and they're so excited. And it has been really, really nice to hear that siren on the first working day of the month. So thank you very much for all of your work on that. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for being so diligent and keeping it top of mind and being there at the first of every month or the first siren test.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg,
Well,
go
thank
ahead.
you.
I just wanted to add a couple of comments about your traffic sites that need attention and that thing about Keahole. I mean, that goes way back. We have tried so many different things. One thing seemed to be working with stanchions, if that's what you call them, the little posts.
Delineators.
Yeah, and then to take them out again. But that seemed to be helping along the way. But another thing that I didn't hear you mention is the yield sign going from Lunalila Home Road onto Laniano. That's not consistent with the definition for what a yield sign means, because there too, it's a through lane. I mean, it's open. People turning right off of Lunalila Home Road are supposed to be able to just proceed unhindered. It's the incoming traffic that should have the instruction to yield, and there may be a sign for merging traffic or be aware, reckless drivers crossing over to Coco Marina might be cutting you off, but in shorter words.
You're talking about from Lunalilo turning right onto Kalaniano.
Yeah, and that you're not merging, you're not blending into another flow of traffic. That is an open lane ahead of them. This is something that has come up several times here as well.
Perfect. I'll add that to my
And
list.
I
Thank
know
you.
there's another site in Hawaiʻi that has a similar situation, but I can't think of it right now.
That particular yield sign, we were told that it was to yield to cars trying to get into the right lane. However, Greg said it shouldn't be the inside lane yielding to the outside lane.
Yeah.
It should just be merging or caution, possible merging traffic or something.
And the Keahole one, maybe it is a similar situation, but I think there's probably more of a need for a complete stop and not making it too easy. Lunalila Home Road, you don't even need to stop. There is a crosswalk there, but it's just not as active. But yeah, you have to look for bikes and pedestrians before you proceed on Kalaniano.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I'm adding that now.
Okay, and Representative, we would like to thank you for hosting a number of the board members at the Capitol in late May or early May, before the session ended. So thank you very
My
much.
pleasure. Thank you so much for coming down.
Okay, and thank you for your report tonight.
Awesome. Aloha.
Is there anyone from Representative Mark Hasham's office? Any congressional representatives online? Okay, then we're going to be going on to board business. But a lot of our board business are updates. And I have no additional updates on Ka'ivi Coast Scenic Byway. Some of our reports did mention the Ka'ivi Coast, but we don't really have any formal updates. And I have received no updates on Camilo Nui Valley Agriculture either. So if no one has anything to share, okay.
The
Elizabeth?
only thing I'll share is there's Firewise work being done. There's a community effort in the back of the valley. And then, of course, the landowner is maintaining certain areas for Firewise purposes.
And I would like to say thank you to the Firewise groups that are working so diligently to keep the community safe. Thank you. The next item is an update on Cocoa Crater Stables. And we did have some discussion on that earlier during the mayor's representatives report. But I did ask the board to consider sending a letter to the mayor to speedily resolve the issues at the stables to make the facility available again to the public. Does the board want to take action to send the letter, or do we feel that we'll wait to see what develops? Elizabeth?
Because you had already sent the draft, and because we're constantly looking to protect this community asset, I think that we should consider sending the letter. It just strengthens our position as it relates to that recreation activity within our district park.
Okay, Elizabeth, do you want to make a motion that we do so?
I make a motion that we send the letter that you sent to us to the city.
I second.
Seconded by Paula Bender. Um, Because we have only 8 people in attendance at this time, all 8 would need to be in favor in order for the board to take action. We are a 15-member board and quorum is 8, and we would need 8 votes to take official action. So I'm going to be asking for a roll call vote, and I'm going to ask Ensign to call the names.
Okay, this motion is to consider sending a letter to the mayor to speedily resolve the issue at the stable and to make the facility available to the public. When I call your name, please say yes, no, or abstain. Alton,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Donnelly,
Yes.
okay, yes, okay. Knudsen,
Yes.
okay. Mayor,
Yes.
okay. Riley,
Yes.
okay. Ward
Yes.
and Bender.
Yes.
Okay, that makes 8. It's all good.
All right, thank you, board members. I will modify the draft, include our vote, and send it off within the next day or two. We have made clear to the city that the board does support maintaining Cocoa Crater Stables as an equestrian facility that's available to the general public and the residents of our community. So to resolve the issues that are present right now at the stables and to work with the concessionaire so that we can certainly have this asset again available to the community. It's very unique, and it's been years since we've been able to access this facility. Okay, are there any reports from board committees? Yes, Elizabeth?
Our planning and zoning committee was going to convene again in July with Group 70 relating to Cocoa Villas. We were going to have a second community meeting, but I spoke with them today, and they've asked that it's later in the summer. They're still doing some studies and analyzing data and so forth. So I said, okay, and I'd report back so we could have it on record that the second meeting with the community will be in late summer.
I'd like to remind the committee chairs, co-chairs, that we do need to submit the minutes of the first meeting. Forthcoming? Okay, thank you so much. All right. Any other committee reports? No? Moving on then to approval of the regular meeting minutes. I do have one correction on page 4, changing Kalani Highway to Kalana-Anaole Highway. So any other revisions or corrections?
Roberta, where is that correction on page 4? Oh, safety hazards?
Yes, under public generated issues, safety hazards on Kalani Highway should be safety hazards on Kalana-Anaole Highway. Okay?
Thank you.
If there are no additional revisions, are there any objections to accepting the minutes with that one correction? No objections? Seeing none, the minutes are approved as distributed with that one amendment. Any other board announcements? If not, I'm going to be going into the closing announcements. The next regular meeting of the Hawaiʻi Kai Neighborhood Board, Tuesday, June 30th at 7 p.m. at the Hahaiʻioni Elementary School cafeteria and on WebEx. Hawaiʻi Kai Neighborhood Board regular meetings are cablecast on Olelo Channel 49 on the second Monday of the following month at 9 p.m. and repeating on that month's third Friday at 7 a.m. Videos can also be seen online at Olelo.net or at the Honolulu.gov NCO Board's website. I want to thank all of you for staying late. I want to encourage our community members to consider volunteering to serve on the neighborhood board in an open at-large seat. We'll ask again each month if there are volunteers who are willing to serve. Thank you all for staying with us tonight, and our meeting is formally adjourned.